If you didn't see us play this once before, this did posted a result in the now defunct Insight Esports Tournament Series. It's just a good mix of just good cards of the format. You know it's going to be reasonable because it's 4x memory lapsing people. You've got Into the North to ramp up into things like sweepers, as well as powerful planeswalkers and threats and Shark Typhoons. And you got some Narsets with some prison elements tying it all together. So let's go ahead and dive on into some matches with this one and see if we can have another reasonable run with some Bant. We played Chad Turn. I think the Chad Turns deck is just worse than the Vodrock Turns deck. That deck's a cute gimmick, but it's not really very competitive. Occasionally you'll Platinum Angel people and they can't win the game, but from a is this deck good standpoint, the answer is a resounding no. Yeah, I just don't think Elish Norn's very good in the format in general. Generally speaking, running a card like Elish Norn to make your Nissa lands better is textbook win more. Like, if your Nissa is hanging out doing stuff, you're probably winning the game regardless. Oh, it's a sick beat. I'm probably dead now, right? This is why I don't put the deck name in the stream title anymore. They're playing vampires. Super dead. You don't need to time them out for that. It's not their fault that I didn't update the stream title. And they're right, it needed to be updated. I was just pointing out that me forgetting to update it is the reason why I don't put it in the stream title anymore. It's not permit, it's slash unbanned, moderators. Permit lets people post links if you're a chat that doesn't allow links, but we allow links here because I expect people to be adults. Sure. Hand has lands and spells you generally keep against the Thoughtseize deck. I don't think I'd keep this hand on the draw with no play till 4, but the Wrath of God is our first play of the game on turn 4 is fine when we're on the play. Well, we stopped playing Dead Gael after less than an hour and are now playing something else, so you could probably extrapolate from that. Or maybe you can't. There's two types of people in the world, chat. Those that can extrapolate from incomplete data sets and... So this will probably get a forest. You know, honestly, I think I'm gonna ditch these two and just plan to play blockers. My boar is here, chat. Yeah, piggy, 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 piggy. Here, piggy, 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 piggy. How tall do you think Yasharn is? Tall enough that it shouldn't trade with this gifted Aetherborn. Now, one of the sweet things about Into the North in this deck is we get to play, we get to grab Faceless Haven, so it gets us to get a threat in this part of the game. You set a default command, Charizard James. Let's add a Runeterra command, because that's a question that's going to come up with them having a set release. Jeff isn't planning to dip into Runeterra outside of sponsored opportunities because the growth potential just isn't there for the game currently. It's concise and punchy. It's for the follow DMG City. I think I'm pretty weird that they would... Maybe they didn't realize what was going to happen. They definitely should have just pumped that, right? Make this a 5/5. There could be merit to waiting a turn on this to draw an extra card, but like if they draw a discard spell, I'd be super sad, so... We do have some large tracts of land. And we're still in this game, right? Like we've got large tracts of land and we're like still playing a real game of Magic. Don't have a 5-drop as your last card.
This is but a taste of my power.
Oh. Yeah, let's send both these here. They could eat this, but then this kills this. This is all creature types. Good beats. They want to hold them cast out. Yeah, that still seems loose. I feel like they should just pump rather than letting themselves get 2 for 1. Now, you can't cut any of the lands that we're playing for a creature land. And if you're going to cut a spell for the creature land, at that point you might as well. You might as well just play the spell. You need the lands that we're playing so we have enough basics for things, as well as have enough colors to cast our spells consistently. Joke's on you, opponent. I don't have spells to take. I know it, like, feels bad to flood out in a game like this, and it makes you want to cut lands or whatever, but it's just how Magic works. Especially in a ramp deck like this. Hey, Mad Dog. Thanks for the quarter of a year. Welcome back. Good morning, good morning. Settle looking much worse than Wrath of God here. Their Black Castle, allowing them to leverage extra mana. Come on, opponent, I have 1 unknown card. Play your 2 creatures. Or only play one of them. I take that too, that's fine. Stop and love the bomb. Thanks for the 20 months. Good morning, good morning. Goodbye, friends. What's going on, Urkadar? Thanks for the 4 years. It's been a hot second. Eight, 9, 10, 11 lands. At some point, we'll draw a Shark Typhoon or a Krasis, and it will be glorious. The real question is, if we draw a Shark Typhoon, do we want to, if we draw a Shark Typhoon, do we want to cast it, or do we want to cycle it? No, yeah, we're definitely behind at the moment. I don't know how far behind in terms of measurability, but I would definitely rather be on their side of the board. Yeah, unless they have a bunch of spot removal there in their hand, in which case, you know. Hey, look, Jan, it's a tie game now. I would like to point out how much better off my opponent would be in this game we're currently playing if these castles had been, Alright, this is for all of you at home. This is the content play. If these castles had been black creature lands, they'd have killed me, right? I just, like, wouldn't have answers. Instead, here we are. Yeah, I think the read that they have a bunch of removal spells still is accurate. They've sideboarded in kind of a strange manner. I feel like they definitely have too much removal in their deck right now. If I was them, I would have a lot less. I think things like Murderous Rider are fine. I have no idea how real EDH works, so I assume you start by just jamming a bunch of Soul Rings and Mana Crypts in your deck, though. I'd also wager Extus probably isn't very good in real EDH. That tends to be more multiplayer. It's probably slow and fair for that format. Yeah, I guess I should say I wouldn't expect the type of Extus deck that we built on stream to be good in normal EDH. Like, I imagine you're probably some kind of, you're some kind of grindy deck that combos with the front side as opposed to an aggro deck that beats them down with the back side. And now this gives them lifelink, so, their castles get to draw more cards now. What's our best draw here? Commit to Memory? Narset into Commit to Memory? Alright, last basic out of the deck. Okay, Into the Roil. Krasis would be a decent pickup. I believe this is I believe I have cast Grizzly Shark. Oh, I still have other snowlands. Forgot about those. Punish for not making a thing. There are 29 cards in my deck.
Our fiends thirst for life.
I'm pretty sure this one's supposed to cycle. I'm pretty sure this one's supposed to cycle. So I have 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 mana.
My blood flows through you.
So I should block this Faceless Haven. I guess that's worse against Bloodchief's Thirst, right? Technically, double Sorin from hand kills me here. I was gonna say I could use this to double count my mana, but I actually can't. Oh wow, is this not lethal? Do I only have a 10-10? I think I only have a 10-10. Crap. Oh, it's lethal with Phyrexian Arena. Good call. Sometimes lucky. Sometimes lucky. They definitely should have drawn on my end step. So that way they didn't give me the chance to draw a counterspell there. I think I'm putting Yasharn in my deck and cutting Memory Lapse just so I have maximum things to play to the board here. Zach Goals, thanks for the 22 months. Welcome back. Appreciate the support. Oh, we're halfway there. Oh, lemon on a square. Take my Yasharn. It'll draw us lands, I swear. Do do. Boo doo 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 doo. Boo doo 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 doo. Cast Typhoon again this game. Don't be a coward. Warriors, come out and play. Look at that, chat. They took the decision out of my hands. It is no longer a choice I can make. Yes, we're going to start the Director's Cut DLC this afternoon, Stormbreath Dragon. In fact, the first hour of our stream is sponsored by the Twitch Bounty Board. So if you haven't checked out Ghost before, you just want a good way to support my content, hanging out for the first hour of my variety segment, starting about 1 o'clock, about an hour from now. A great way to do that. I guess I should technically do this in attack before I Baffling End. I missed 4 points of damage here. It's a little greedy. They have another go blank. They empty my hand. The fact that I missed 4 points could really 5 points. It was pumped up. If they have another go blank here and I lose this Krasis, then they have answers to my board and we flood. Okay, we're gonna get to Krasis next turn, so we should be good to go. Oh, they can have a discard spell here. They have an Inquisition or a Thoughtseize. We're behind. We're actually really behind with the removal spell plus the discard spell. Yeah, have good top decks because we are a ramp deck, but would feel better if we could Krasis for 3. Yeah, it's probably just, hopefully it's just a fatal push. Pushing Krasis is whatever, because it'll draw 3 cards. Yeah, we're out of basic forests and plains. We're not out of basic islands. You didn't realize Krasis was a beast? I mean, what did you think it was when it was beating you down all those years ago? Seems pretty beastly to me. That hard cast was for you, chat. Never say that I'm not a proponent of fun. What's going on, Mark? Thanks for keeping me around. Good morning. Now you want to see real content plays, chat. Here's the real content plays for you. Memories refilling our hands now. It even comes with a shark. Do 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 do. Alright, see, we should have just played this deck from the start, and then we'd be in Mythic by now. Now this deck has to have a strong back and carry us up over all of the pips that, what's it called, spewed? Not dead gas spewed. This is fine. We'll fetch a forest on one, and then we've got Into the North to ramp up. Get some color fixing. Yes, Thursday. Arena has 5 hours of downtime tomorrow, so they could install their new server backend stuff. And then, Thursday's the patch. Tomorrow, we're gonna play some Boomer Magic in the morning, and then we're gonna play more Ghost of Tsushima. Like I said, the game's great. think I just do this and let them extend more. I don't really need more white or blue, so I'm gonna grab a Faceless Haven here. Oh yeah, the WotC presentation is supposed to be at 10 a.m., so we'll watch that together on stream before Restart goes tomorrow. That's a little punishing for me waiting on the Wrath of God. Hey, B-Del, thanks for the 15 months. Welcome back. Thanks for the follow, Phyrexian Reaver. I believe the purpose of the presentation tomorrow is like loose plans for Magic the Gathering over the course of the next year. The names of the sets, basically. That's Great Henge might bury us, fam. I guess I get to commit it and then untap and wrath them next turn. Yeah, I imagine we'll see more Innistrad cards, for sure. No cards for Skoos. It's a real shame they had Skoos here, because otherwise I would have been able to Tamiyo pick back up Fabled Passage and then Wrath of God. But now I missed my land drop for the turn. That's fine, we can draw Orphanguard at least. My graveyard is gone. You have exiled it.
Let us see if your talents are worth cataloging. I know I noted this somewhere.
It's the part where, like, they've been holding up a snakeskin veil, and they're gonna, like, pump this and then veil my commit. They were going out of their way to hold up 1 mana earlier. I could die here because I shocked. It's not good, Limu. Had a really good Commander set today. We had a really good Standard 22 set. Okay, so they didn't have the protection spell. We've got that going for us. Emperor VCD, thanks for the follow. Welcome to the channel. Okay, so Memory Lapse out, and then probably Narset out. Keep the rest of this. I like it. In that case, shouldn't we block with Haven? Nah. If people didn't love Eldraine, why are they still playing with Eldraine cards? Thanks for the 2.5 years, Fuji. Welcome back. Yeah, this is fine. Like, removal spell, threat, all of our colors. I like the idea of Eldraine. A storybook setting is sweet. The execution of Eldraine left some to be desired. Yeah, I'm with Jim Mid. Liked everything about Eldraine except the power level. Oh, and Once Upon a Time. Once Upon a Time is a stupid card that shouldn't have been printed. I actually think Once Upon a Time is the single most offensive card in Eldraine, because Eldraine, that's the only card in Eldraine that very obviously should not have been okay, in my opinion. That type of free spell design that only green got. I think a lot of the other things in Eldraine, they just missed on, like, numbers are slightly off. Like, the core designs of everything else were really good. But that Once Upon a Time specifically was like, this is a card you should have known not to print. Hey, Tatty Wand, thanks for the brand new Prime. There's a ton of people you can send that to every month here on Twitch. Thanks for sending it this way this month. Oko is fine. Oko was fine. Like, Oko is literally 2 number changes away from being a perfectly balanced card. Breeding Pool. Breeding Pool. You just GM the Nissa, right? Are large. So my name is Riss, and my parents were worried you would call it Riss. Your Riss games kept making me laugh. Yeah, someone in chat said, is it Reese? R-H-Y-S is pronounced Reese, apparently, in real life. Really? Yeah, right? That was my response. I was like, what? That sounds made up. Okay. Who's in for a content memory? Not the opponent. The opponent is off it, chat. They've been Aether Gusted 1-2. Man, I feel like Mono Green's a bad deck to play if you're off of it when they Aether Gust. There's a lot of Aether Gusts in this format, chat. I've talked about this before, and Christy posted a screenshot of it on Twitter. I don't have the link offhand. But when we decided on the name Haley for our daughter, my wife had a spreadsheet of all the different combinations of way you could have a name say hey and lay, with just like a big matrix of names of different ways that we could do it. Oh yeah, that's a good one, Soil. My wife's name is Christy with a K and an I at the end. Just one of the more uncommon spellings of that one too. Nothing really says peak Magic the Gathering, like queuing into Control and having double Baffling End in your hand. Welcome to the matchup variants. Enjoy your stay. Three Baffling Ends in the main deck, 2 in the opener against Just Guy. Feels Magic the Gathering, man. How else are we gonna kill their Magma Opus tokens? That's great. It's true, you know. They'll probably tag a Shark token or something at some point. Like they're gonna cycle and make a 2/2 Shark here, and then we'll Baffling End it post combat. Poker face, poker face, my. We did find us a Baffling End targets yet. Kind of surprised they spent a treasure token to make their Shark one bigger. You got me. Trading bad pieces of spot removal for Shark tokens. Control matchup things. Okay. Outside of Krasis, we don't have that much proper card draw. So we stick Tamiyo here, or do we stick Yasharn to pressure their planeswalkers? I kind of like Yasharn. Because, like, Tamiyo doesn't actually impact the board, is the problem. And, like, anything she actually manages to draw, we have to try and resolve. I mean, we'd name Shakes the World with Tamiyo, but... yes, when their dig through time finds an expressive iteration. Well, they played their land already. Are they not iterating this turn? Weird. Poor sequencing here on their part. Yeah, getting the last two basics this can get out of our deck also isn't bad. Yeah, opponents dispute a little bit. They can't play this land because they played this already. Narset's not a terrible draw. We'll start by attacking their Narset here.
I shall miss your company.
Just let that happen. Want to save this for one of their threats, I think. So with Teferi on top of their deck, do I just cast Narset and do nothing with her? I think that's the play with the Helix face up.
I know 88 ways to defeat you. Pick one. I any lunar anomalies you have experienced. To the library.
A true skill game. A true skill game.
I'm not going to keep up the pace.
Bye, friend. Do 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 do. Beep 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 do 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 do. Insert die roll rant here. Enjoy. I mean, I don't know if that was a shame concession so much as that they just couldn't win the game anymore, so they were conceding. I got a new headset over the weekend. I don't know how I feel about this one so far. I think it might pinch my ears a little bit, pinch my head a little bit more than my old one. Maybe it'll loosen up a little bit with time. It sounds better than my old broken one, though, just at a low bar. Yeah, this is good, right? On the drop. I'm gonna fetch Island on one. Have I seen Death Thrash? Death Thrash. I have no idea what that is. Something larger than my head. I don't know, my head's pretty big. It's tough to find things larger than it. I just like play a tapped land tier. That's the plan. Just gonna let lapse happen here. I'm gonna continue holding up dispute so we can dispute a Narset if it happens. Saw it coming? We didn't have another land drop, would dispute be the play there? Yeah, definitely. I definitely want to give myself the best chance to hit all my land drops in a matchup like this. Okay, so... Am I YOLOing this, Nissa? Nah, I'm gonna draw my companion. I don't think there's any reason to jam yet. Is it greedy to play 2 Haven? I don't think you can cut any of our lands that make colors of mana for a colorless land, and I don't think Haven is better than any of the spells we're playing. Yeah, you got it. Perfect. Okay, and now we get to play Nissa with Veto up.
I protect that. It cannot protect itself. The land fights for us.
Oh, you know what? If I would have untapped this, I could have cast this turn. Would have been better. Narset's fine. We're just gonna attack her next turn.
I have practiced against many foes. I have just the trick for this.
Yeah, so I could have, but then if they kill my planes, I can't hold up Veto. So that's not a good play. Sorry, I didn't articulate that fully. But my sequencing there, I want to be able to hold up Veto in the event that they kill my thing.
Harness the elements.
Yeah, that's true. This is probably the last Snowland I want to make a 3/3. I'm also, like, not really expecting them to have Wrath of God in their deck post-board, though. If they do, I think that's a win for us on average. Ghost of Tsushima released their director's cut with PS5 specific features, as well as a new island DLC, Vortex. I believe the DLC's like 10 to 20 hours of new content, depending on how much of a completionist you are. So we're gonna pick up where my old character left off after completing the main game and dive into the DLC. And the first hour of, we're going to play Ghost for a couple hours at the end of the stream like I usually do for variety stuff, but the first hour is sponsored. So if you want a great, easy way to support my content, hang out for the sponsored segment. Ghost is also a fantastically sweet game. I spent about 26 hours playing through the base game on stream that's up in a playlist on the YouTube channel. Really fun open world RPG. Very similar to Witcher 3. Set in 1300s Japan. Oh no, chat. It's our bubble match for Mythic, and we're queued into probably auras. I'm gonna keep this. I'm gonna bet on the Shark Typhoon. We have turn 3 Yasharn into some Krasis after. Oh, black-red. Okay. This is a little bit worse for our mana here, since they get to take that away, but I think this is a better matchup for us than auras. I think Aura is a little bit of a challenging matchup for this archetype. This is a good start for the opponent, though. They get to flash back and take my Hydroid Krasis away now. If I had to play aggro and historic, what would I choose to play? I don't know. If I'm being completely blunt, I don't think any of the aggro decks are very good in this format at the moment. I'm hoping that will change with the introduction of Jumpstart Historic Horizons, but the Memory Lapse controlling decks are definitely better than most other things going on. I don't think Burn's very good. There's some people that will play decks like that regardless of what they're doing, but that's another archetype that's failed to post any results in any of the historic tournaments that we've had for a reason. Was there a Meta Monday? Was there tournaments? The answer to that question is no. No, there haven't been any meaningful tournaments. Also, like, this format's about to disappear into something else, so there isn't really anything worth covering, even if there had been. Can you cycle your commander? No, cycling is an activated ability that you use from your hand. Yeah, Elves is one of those decks that gets mostly picked apart by the decks that are the top decks in this format, so, like, it's a fine ladder stomping deck if you enjoy it, because people play lots of different things on the ladder, but... I mean, if we draw a Nissa here, we could still be in this game. Is the opponent's deck a well-known one? Kind of. Red-Black Arcanist, you can find a variation of it up on my website. Honestly, if you have to answer that question, you should take 20 minutes and go over the decks on my site. It is a deck that had a number of strong finishes in this format before, the control decks became more popular that we have now. And I think it struggles a little bit against Jeskai and the other control decks, but it's got tools, and if you play it well, you can do well with it. I think mid-range in general is in kind of a rough spot in this format. But if you are dead set on playing mid-range, I think their deck is one of the ones that I would recommend. Red-Black, Black-White Dead Guy Ale, Red-White mid-range, I think all of those are like fine-ish. I wouldn't call them good, but I'd call them, you know, they're the best of the options. As that game showed, there's plenty of time chances you have to get on the scoreboard with them. Anything that isn't control isn't good. That's my opinion of the current format, yeah. I think the Jeskai and the Niv decks in this current format that I am playing are a cut above everything else at the moment. There is a reason why the Rivals League or whatever it was called thing had, you know, 40% people show up with Jeskai control. And that doesn't mean you can't win with other things. It just means that, you know, if you want to give yourself the best chance to win, that's what you need to be doing. This isn't a 3 Yasharn matchup. I definitely want my cheap interaction to rest in peace here, obviously. I think the sweepers are good because they'll probably have some young pyromancers hiding out. Trim each of these. How realistic is it that it'll change with Jumpstart Historic Horizons? I don't think it's likely, Guardian EU, if I'm being honest. I'm expecting the Hoaglandia event to be fun because we tend to run a more casual tournament. I don't seem to have a deck that's just red-black on the site. Did I get rid of it? Hi, honey lovely. Thank you. Oh, did I take it down? Oh, I might have taken it down after they banned something. Huh. I'll have to throw that one back up there at some point. Oh, I think I took it down because it was going to change a ton. Yeah, that's what we did. The waifu ran and got sandwiches from Potbelly for lunch. See, this is why you don't want your rest in peace in the opener, chat. You want it to be 2 cards down or 1 card down so you can cast it before they thought sees it. Sag. I discarded my commit to memory because it's very likely that my opponent has more discard spells in their hand, and I want to just have plenty of lands, so that way I can cast anything I draw that's a bomb off the top in the mid to late game here. This is a matchup that's going to come down to top decking, because that's the type of game state the opponent's deck induces. So, naturally, we'll just, like, never draw spells and die, and it'll end up looking embarrassing that I discarded that one, but I think, in general, I would like to secure my first 5 to 6 land drops. Maybe even one more than that, 7 or 8. Just guarantee.
To surrender now, I hone your prowess.
Think we just do this on here? And now their discard spells don't do anything, because I don't have any spells to hold on to. Man, their creature land is really good here.
You are a mighty warrior. I concede. There are so many who must keep an open mind.
I'm actually not gonna attack here because I don't want to give them... mills, I don't think. I think I want to trade this 2/2 for their Den of the Bugbear here. Narset can't draw another card regardless.
I was not prepared for this.
Village rights, brutal. So close and yet so far away. It's our third time playing a game for Mythic and losing it today. This edge. I got a ramp mirror here. Okay, nice. Get into the north. Probably just want to get... I have all my colors, right? Do you need more green? I guess more green is good in the event that we hit a Nissa. Mania, thanks for the follow. If you're still here. Alright, so definitely need to Wrath of God the Goalless, right? Can't leave that one in play, threatening to activate. The World Tree gives them all colors of mana. To Porsche, thanks for the follow. Good afternoon. Mirari's Wake. Yep. I think we're going to get bigger fish to your chat. Yeah, definitely did do it a little bug. Did we switch back to Brawl?
Like wind and wave.
Like wind and wave. Yeah, I wonder if World Tree finds anything for them here. Come on, bottoms up. Put 2 lands at the bottom. Alrighty, you love to see it. We're playing a game of Magic until we get Ulamog here. That one's also rather scary. They have doubles on their basics, chat. Alright. Dispute, Veto, Aether Gust, Wrath out, Baffling End out, Into the Roil out. Yeah. The discard all your stuff card is a bit of a beating. Want to make sure to prioritize countering their Fae of Wishes. We're trying to avoid that one from happening in the future. If at all possible. Interesting that they're playing Wolfwell Haven instead of Into the North. I imagine they will integrate regional sub-pricing into mobile eventually, but also wouldn't be surprised if it's not a super high priority. I think they're just getting priority because they can technically activate Crawling Barrens here. Just gonna chill with the Memory Lapse up. What are factors to choose Faceless Haven over Crawling Barrens? Well, in this deck, Into the North gets Faceless Haven. That's the reason we play Faceless Haven.
Strange and magnificent world. Rise, my elemental friend.
Like so, actually. In fact. Although maybe I wanted more green there so I could Tamiyo. 6, 8. So I could Tamiyo plus Shark Typhoon more cleanly. Opponent's playing Hydroid Krasis in their Genesis Ultimatum deck. It's definitely legal.
The moon looks intriguing. I have learned much from my ancestors.
And we saw Golos last game. Golos is fine. The Hydroid Krasis is awkward with Genesis Ultimatum because it goes to your hand. I guess you still draw it, so it's probably fine. It's like another big payoff type thing. Hour of Promise. Yeah, that seems fine. Ha! They got deserts to make zombies. It's like a build your own Field of the Dead shit. I wasn't expecting it. I don't even name with Tamiyo here.
Let me aid your research.
That popped up and I got excited for half a second. I was like, oh, did we hit?
Be wary of the ground you walk on.
And it has reach. The Field of the Undead. Would a Field of the Undead unban make Jeskai control better or worse? I think it would make it worse. I think it would allow. No, I actually don't think it's nonsensical at all. People frequently ask me, Jeff, what would they have to do to make control decks worse? And outside of banning a bunch of cards from them, I think printing something like Field of the Dead is the answer. I don't know that it's a correct answer or it's something that they should necessarily do, but it's definitely an answer. I'll float a bunch of mana here before we ult the Nissa.
Witness the ties that bind us all. Rise, my elemental friend.
Rise, my elemental friend. It would make the format control versus field. I don't think I agree with that assessment, Silence. I think a lot of the decks that would look to leverage Field of the Dead in a way, traditionally speaking, decks that would be leveraging Field of the Dead would struggle against aggressive decks. So I would be of the opinion that I think there's a good chance the format would probably be better balanced with Field of the Dead in it. But, you know, you're welcome to disagree with that. It's definitely a shot in the dark. If you Nissa Haven, can you then make it a 7/6 with Indestructible? Yes. Yeah, as someone who, like, so, like, Field of the Dead, while it's a little obnoxious, it frequently creates games where attacking and blocking matters if you're playing a creature deck. So from a play pattern perspective, I definitely prefer that to be playing against. I have no idea why they were still playing, and apparently neither did they. And apparently neither did they. When Field was legal, decks were Control, Field, or something that got under Field. Yeah, it was a diverse metagame. In terms of archetype diversity. So, your assessment there is off base, Neil, in that Field of the Dead does actually poo-poo on mid-range a little bit, but I also don't think mid-range is very good in this format as is, so I don't think that, like, preserving mid-range's ability to mid-range is something that you really, like, is high on the priority. Like, they obviously don't care too much about mid-range based on what the format looks like now. I don't know. I also think it's probably mostly a pointless thing to talk about, because I don't think Wizards is likely to unban things. They really don't like doing that. They seem to like to get rid of things and then leave them gone. So, I think I actually Memory Lapse this Krasis because I'm playing Narset next turn. As a tool in mid-range decks. Mid-range decks don't really want to play Field of the Dead, historically speaking. It's not really a type of card that they want. Dispute sounds lovely. Yikes. No, Brainstorm's still suspended. I expect they won't officially ban Brainstorm until probably, like, the end of next month after the new sets have released. I would assume they don't want to give people wild cards right before set release. You know, I actually don't have a good answer to Golos in my deck right now, do I? That's probably an oversight. The way I'm sideboarded. I actually just can't take this off the table. It's just sit there and activate. Yeah, I definitely punted sideboarding a little bit. That's one of the advantages you get from playing a deck like the opponent's deck. It's definitely an off-meta way to approach things. My sideboard plans didn't line up well into what they had going on. And if it resolves there past our counter magic and we're not in an aggressive position, it's just gonna sit there and activate and bury us. This deck was fine. I don't know that it's particularly exciting or interesting. I'm very ready for Thursday. This is gonna be the last historic deck that we play before Thursday when Jumpstart Historic Horizons drops, and I'm really hoping that I am wrong and that Jumpstart Historic Horizons is gonna give creature decks the tools they need to be pushed to the forefront of the format. 'Cause I definitely enjoy Magic more when Magic is about attacking and blocking. Definitely greatly prefer that. If you like this style of deck, this is going to be, it's fine. We've played this before. It was fine then. What are we doing on Tuesday and Wednesday? You can find my schedule up on my website and my YouTube channel. has links to not only when I will be live or when I'm live with when. Remember, tomorrow, Arena has like 6 hours of downtime. So nobody's going to be streaming Arena tomorrow because it's down. And then Wednesday for Arena, we'll probably play Standard 22 and Brawl. Yeah, we'll see. At a minimum, when new sets drop, even if they're not necessarily great, they will be lots of people exploring things. So even if the creature decks aren't at the forefront of the format long term, in the short term, there'll be a lot of people playing creature decks on the ladder and stuff. So it should generate a ton of fun games of Magic, even if long term the control decks end up still being the thing. I imagine we will get to experience a ton of sweet creature based matchups in that honeymoon period that will at the very least get us till rotation.